Hey folks, Fernando doing our video for More Survivalist, and in this case we're going to be talking about current events, what's going on, and a little bit more philosophical regarding survival and preparedness, when it's actually useful, when it makes a difference, like current times. It's going to be a bit of a longer video, as it probably is, and that's okay. You should be staying home, sheltering in place, quarantine, all that good stuff, so you probably have a little bit more time to watch a bit of a longer video, and I think it's going to be worth it, so give it a shot. I'm just back from the grocery store wearing my respirator. This is the general service respirator currently in use by British Armed Forces, I believe, and yeah, this is now normal. This is now normal life. It is amazing how quickly things change. Just a few days ago, wearing this, you were a complete lunatic. Now you are wise and ahead of the curve, and yeah, that's how things are. In fact, I've already gotten 2 compliments. One was from a security guard in a grocery store, and just right now I'm just back from the store buying a few things. One of the workers there, aligning and putting the shopping carts back in its place, he was like, cool, that's what we should have. Yeah, definitely, this is what you should have as well, working in that place. Now, of course, most people are not wearing this, but everyone is wearing a mask, guys. That's the way it is. Everyone is wearing one of these respirators or something. Maybe the N95. This is an FFP3, which would be closer to an N99. But everyone is wearing something, and everyone is wearing gloves, and they're giving you those gloves in the grocery stores as well. I don't know. Let me know, guys, in the comment section below how things are over there where you are. But yeah, it's amazing how quickly things have changed. Now you are the normal guy with the gas mask. Now you're the normal guy that has this kind of equipment, or even you're a visionary. You're ahead of what's happening, and I feel a lot better with this. To be honest, with this is fine. But first of all, it's not this same level of protection. This seals a lot better around your face, of course. Like, you can actually test it by covering the filters with your hands, and when you try to breathe in, there's no air leaking. I should still get a little bit of shave a little bit more, but still no problem, still working fine. And it's protecting your eyes as well, and it's a lot easier to breathe with this thing. This is the kind of thing real survivalists already had. You weren't rushing to buy these. These are disposable. These are the ones you have for, just a few emergencies. But this is what you have when there's real problems, and you have to make sure the air you're breathing in is safe. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments section, but I got maybe a couple of people scared when I went around an aisle, in the grocery store, and all of a sudden bumping into someone. It does look a little bit creepy. Maybe it does. I think it's not that bad. People are exaggerating. But all of a sudden, this is fashionable. This gets you, I feel like, whoa, that's cool. That's a nice mask that you have there. Yeah, and well, regarding the pandemic, it is as serious as it gets. Right now in Spain, they're putting the corpses in the ski, the ice skating place. They're putting the corpses on the ice so as to keep them cool. That's how bad things are, because there's no more place in the morgues. And there's funeral homes that are not working anymore because they don't even have the protection equipment themselves as to keep working safely, and they're just overwhelmed, most likely. These are the kind of conversations you're having with people. I get lots of messages from folks on Instagram. Mine is Furfal308. I'll leave it there below if you want to follow me on Instagram, which I'm getting a little bit better at little by little, but I'm getting lots of feedback from people all over the world. That's one of the cool things. I'm getting messages from cops, nurses, doctors, people in the know across the world. It's pretty awesome. And yeah, some of the stories are quite concerning. There's people that are very worried about all this stuff. It is not a joke. It is not just like your normal flu. It is not just to hurt Trump or whatever. It is a serious thing. And it's not being taken seriously in some places, and those places will be regretting it in just a few more days when they realize that what's happening right now is very it's a real deal. One of the things that I crunched the numbers. I mean, this is basic math, but in just 4 more days, 3 more days, 4 more days, USA will have more infected than Italy. Just a matter of simple mathematics. There's nothing there besides that. You have to understand that we are living like 2 weeks in the past. The people that today are getting tested and are getting infected, those guys that are getting infected, those guys, the people that are today getting tested and coming back with positive, those guys got infected 2 weeks ago. We are always running behind this thing. 2 weeks ago was when that guy that got his positive test today really got infected. So when you crunch these numbers, when you do it at a short period of time, it's unavoidable. This is like the Matrix, when Smith tells Neo it is, or Neo tells Smith, I don't know, it was unavoidable. Well, this is unavoidable. 2 weeks from now is unavoidable. If you lock everyone in a crystal box right now, 2 weeks from now, those folks that didn't know they were infected are going to be realizing, damn, I'm sick. I'm not feeling all that well. I'll get tested. Oh, well, what you know? It's positive. I have coronavirus. That is what's going to be happening 2 weeks from now. So when you project these numbers to just 4 days, which is what I did, well, I actually did it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in about 7, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days more, the United States will have about 500,000 people infected with coronavirus. Not an opinion, simple mathematics projected to just 1 week. Right? This is as simple as it gets. It's just the way it is. 2 weeks from now, it's just unavoidable. Even if you go today into lockdown, and this has been repeating itself in different countries. You've seen this in Italy, you've seen this in Spain. Even when you go on full lockdown and you actually follow through, which is not what's happening in the US. In America, they're not going about this as seriously as they've been doing in some other countries. Even if you do it for real, 2 weeks from now, those folks will realize, damn, I have this thing, I'm infected. So it's a pretty serious situation, and if you haven't been preparing seriously for this, you may end up regretting it. There's folks still wondering, and one of the messages I get a lot is, should I start wearing, Fernando, should I start wearing these respirators, these mask things or not? Is it really that serious? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If you have a gas mask, if you have if you have just one of these, do start wearing it. It's not just enough to wash your hands as you've been told. You've been lied to by politicians, by the media, understandably so, maybe, in terms of keeping people calm and avoiding panic and such. But it is your obligation as a prepper, as a survivalist, to be above that, to see what you are receiving from the media and the way in which it's intended to influence your opinion. Start protecting yourselves. If you haven't done so, I still see people that are just not. I'm getting those messages on Instagram for folks that are still wondering. One of the questions, and just let me get out of the way, which are the masks that work and which are the masks that don't work? This is one of the questions I get all the time. Everything works to some degree. Even if you make your coffee filter mask, which is one of the things I've shown in previous videos, even if you make something like this, or you double it, you put 2 of these together, even just one of these, a coffee filter mask, this is going to be a lot better than nothing. It's still filtering what? 50% of particles? Okay, that is a lot better than nothing. In fact, there's been studies that show that even the surgical masks that are really not all that good compared to proper N95 respirators, those still have worked. In one study comparing how it performed during the H1N1 pandemic, they performed actually the same. So at least one study points towards that. Something is better than nothing. If you have a proper gas mask, wear that. Wear your gloves. Know the protocol, how to take those things off properly. You pinch on one side, pull on the other, you follow through with it and just dispose without touching anything. When you come, this is what I did. this morning went to buy my groceries like I would normally do. And the reason why I'm doing that is I'm not going to be going through my supplies just yet. Stores are opened. They have their stock, there's toilet paper, there's food, but everyone is taking the precautions. It's only a certain number of people allowed at a time, okay? And everyone is wearing their masks, everyone is trying to keep their distances, everyone is taking all of this very seriously. I happen to live in a place that is one of the lowest, has some of the lowest infection rates of the country, which is nice. It is nice, but it's not entirely accidental. And what I mean by this is, again, when you do preparedness in a methodical, logical, and professional manner. Right now, everyone thinks they're an expert at everything. Everyone considers themselves experts in pandemics. Everyone thinks they're experts in survival and preparedness. No, it's not all the same. There's folks that have been doing this seriously for a long time. There's folks that are professional at this for a long time as well, which would be my case. For those of you guys that have been in my channel for several years now, you know that I started with my first book, this one, The Modern Survival Manual, Surviving the Economic Collapse, which is now selling like pancakes because of the economic collapse. It's going to be going on in many places around the world, and it's an unfortunate situation. Really, there's really nothing at this point. Again, another message I was getting is, Fernando, I got your book, this one, my first one. I got your book because there's a chance of the economy crashing, or there's a chance of a serious recession. No, you're not understanding. There's no chance of anything at this point. This is basically a fact. The economy, when you freeze the entire planet for a few months, as it's been happening, and as it's going to be continue to happen in the following days, weeks, and months, most likely, you froze the economy of the entire world. That has a huge, terrible, drastic impact for the entire planet. Some countries will fare a little bit better than others, but it's going to be reaching everyone to a greater or lesser degree. Everyone is going to be taking a big hit with this. You're going to be seeing poverty rise. You're going to be seeing political and social unrest in many parts of the world. Some folks are a little bit more prepared for that in terms of social and cultural traditions on how to handle crisis and such. In Argentina, everyone is already looking at, okay, when do we start looting? that is Argentina. So we start looting already? No, give it a couple more days, guys, but it's already happening. I try to joke and keep a positive and a little bit of humor, but it's very serious. It's no joke, guys. It is bad. So you have the economy, that it's quite bad. You have the virus as well, which is terrible. There's people that still do not understand. There's people, and you have trolls. Of course you have trolls. You have some shady crap going on regarding attacks to some of the networks in hospitals in some parts of the world. It's either China or it's either Russia, but the Chinese virus, which Trump was entirely right about, I'm feeling more positive about being a Chinese virus in every sense of the word. Each passing day, a little bit more strongly about that, because the way it was handled, the way it was, either ignorantly or poorly handled, or maybe on purpose, but they made sure that whatever happened there, it either started there by accident or whatever reason it did, but it started there. That's pretty much a fact. But they made sure it reached everyone else without any problem. They had no intention of controlling. They did nothing to stop that from spreading throughout the world, and that is entirely on them. It's delicate, and the more people try to avoid doing some of these hard decisions of doing a lockdown, ordering a quarantine, these things are not popular and no one likes them, but it's the only thing you can actually do so as to not stop the disease, because it's going to be affecting everyone eventually, but stopping how fast it's spreading and stretching and breaking, in many cases, the resources medical resources that country have. No country is able to cope with this. Forget about it. It's just being on different parts of the curve, but coping with this, no country has the medical infrastructure, the personnel, the equipment, the supplies, the respirators, the ventilators. No one has enough for the amount of people that are going to be getting sick. It's just a matter of, it's just a fact. You can do your part by staying home and stop the disease from spreading as fast as it is in most places. But again, yeah, it's people that just don't get it. It's people that, there's always also a lot of ignorance. Let's be honest about that as well. There's people that still think the earth is flat. And you know this as well as I do. It's no joke. That's how people actually think. So there's stupid people out there. Thanks to the internet, even stupid people have a voice. And it's up to you to listen to them or not. Try not wasting your time with that sort of thing. Makes just a complete waste of time. But trying to get back to one of the things, which one are the respirators that work and such? The CDC recommends the N95 ones. Doing something, even a coffee filter is better than having nothing. Even better if you have a proper gas mask, which is what a lot of people have, and what if you can still get it, but it's sold out everywhere. Use whatever personal protection equipment you have. Use whatever, if you have your gloves from washing dishes, use that instead. Use whatever it is that you can get your hands on. Try avoiding going out as much as possible. Now, of course, as I was saying before, if you have your stockpile and stores are still open, keep going to those and buying what you need. Don't start going through your supplies just yet. Yes, here it's not as bad as in our parts. It's not accidental. It's all about this methodical, professional, serious way of approaching survival and preparedness. I'm not here out of pure coincidence. I'm here because part of that decision was, okay, I'm avoiding a main city with a large population. That's always a good idea. As you guys know, I'm not a believer of being in the middle of the woods, away from everywhere. No, but being in a smaller town or a town that doesn't have a huge population. In my case, I'm in a coastal town, which has several advantages. It has great weather, which is always a plus. And right now it's a big plus as well because of the amount of sunshine exposure, because of the warm weather and dry climate that we'll have here in just a few more weeks. That is all very helpful in terms of pandemic, especially the dry air that just kills the virus very fast in whatever surface it is, because it gets very hot here. And it's not just hot, it's also very dry. And water, when you're watering plants or whatever is in the garden, you see water evaporate in front of your eyes. And that is terrible, very hot, but it's also great for this kind of situation. The sunshine exposure, UV rays, as we've seen, they do work. They do sterilize and kill virus and bacteria. They're even doing it in hospitals in US right now when reusing the disposable equipment that they're running out of. I was just watching it in the news. They have tubes of UV lights and they just hang the disposable respirators. They just hang those so as to sterilize those. It's not ideal, but you have to do what you have to do in these kind of crises. It's trying to find a solution for that. But none of this is accidental. It's all part of a strategy. This is a lot of the stuff that I wrote about in my second book, which is this one, Bugging Out and Relocating, for you guys interested in this sort of thing. But you look at different things. You look at the climate. You look at the kind of infrastructure in a place. You look at how good the healthcare system is in a country or not. That's all very important. There's folks that don't understand, for example, that Italy has one of the best healthcare systems in the planet. Yeah, sure, they have an aged population, but that's not a big difference in terms of 3-4 more years compared to some other developed nations. All developed countries have older populations compared to some of the younger populations. Aging population is a problem worldwide, but the problem that Italy is having right now, it's not because it has poor health care, it's not because it has an aged population, which, the big picture, and especially if you compare that for example, with the population in the United States, Italy has the second healthiest population on the planet. Those guys are fit, are thin, in good shape. They eat freaking great. They are in fantastic physical shape. Again, not my opinion, just a fact. Look it up. Second healthiest population on the planet. In the case of the US, you have a lot of people that are on drugs, on medication for obesity, that need it because of high blood pressure. All of those things will impact people greatly when they catch this bug. It is definitely a high risk factor if you are in that age group. Also, this idea that it's only just for older people, not so. It's affecting everyone. One of the things that's coming out of Italy is we are amazed by how much younger people are starting to drop into our intensive care units. It's happening a lot more than it happened before. This is not over, folks. In terms of the mortality rate, that's not even accurate right now, because you have to go through. You have people that have died already. You have people that are still sick and fighting the disease. And you have people that have recovered. Now, if you look at the people that have died versus the people that have recovered, that is a freaking scary number because it's really not that far apart. Death rate, what is it? 3.5, 6% in some cases, depending on the numbers they're crunching and how much testing they've done. And of course, there's a lot of people that are positive and haven't been tested. Sure, that's going to be dropping the rate quite a bit, but we'll only see the full picture of this once it's over, guys. That's the truth, and it's it's going to be a long journey. It's going to be a year and a half. That's a standard for a pandemic of this nature. Yes, that's what you're looking at. So try to stay home as much as you can. Find ways of keeping yourself busy, keeping your family. These are times in which we're going to be testing lots of the things some folks in the prep or survival community thought they had. Now you're going to be seeing if they had it. And it's not just about the equipment. There's guys that don't have a lot of the equipment, but it's also about the mindset that you have, how you deal with all these things. If you are worried about looking silly wearing this, then you just don't understand. Then you just don't get it, right? You have to be above that. You have to be smarter than that. You have to be more rugged. If you're so frail, fragile, so sensitive that you're worried about what others think in terms of what you're wearing, you're just not getting what this is all about, what survival is all about. It's not about that. It's about doing what you know is right for you and your family, not what some complete stranger thinks of you. Who gives a fuck? No one. I mean, you definitely should not. That should be the case. And not only that, but the way in which you approach, you make your decisions. There's folks that are, these are all messages that I'm getting all the time from through Facebook. By the way, mine is Furfal, or you can look me up at the Modern Survivalist website as well, and Facebook. And of course the Instagram, Furfal308. I'll leave the links for all this stuff and the books below in the messages. But there's people telling me, hey, Fernando, my wife works in a in a field that is very delicate right now, medical field, or someone that's a police officer that's in contact with people that may be sick, and you may end up having to make some tough decisions. I mean, should you quit your job? The morality of that. You're supposedly to work in the medical field, but you don't want to get sick, but you promise to help people and you want to help people, but then you have a family, you have little kids. Are you going to be leaving your kids without a parent because you're trying to do the right thing and may get infected and may get dying over this? Do you stop working for some time? Do you look after yourself, your community? Do you all of those things? Those are all very personal. No one has a right to tell you what to do with your own life. If you don't want to risk it, you don't want to risk it. And especially if you have small kids, I completely understand that. I mean, to be completely honest, I would not be risking myself in that way if I was like, a mother with a baby, a small child. You're going to be leaving your small children without a mother because you're trying to do your best and helping people, which in many cases you won't be able to help even if you want. You'll just be there to hold their hands as they die, which is something that's being said a lot in Spain, in Italy, and it's gonna in UK as well. I was just reading about that. Someone in UK in the NHS was saying, I'm telling my patients to choose between dying here or dying in their homes. That's the kind of thing that's happening right now, guys. It's not pretty, but it is what it is. And yeah, I'm not making this any longer, folks. Be responsible, take care. If you like my approach to survival and preparedness, and you liked my first book, which is, I'm getting lots of thanks for helping me out all these years. Your advice has been terribly helpful throughout all of this. I'm getting lots of that stuff, and it really warms my heart. It makes me super happy. Lots of folks that knew about and read my first book. Not as many folks have read my last book, which in my opinion is my best book, Street Survival Skills, and this is the book you want. You probably want both of these, but this is the book you want for some of the more nasty stuff that may end up happening, because I describe lots of the things that I talk about here. I explain how to do it here. This is more practical stuff of the stuff that I cover in my first book. And I'll explain with proper illustrations and how to do things the right way. Guys, that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Follow me on Instagram. It's something that I'm having a little bit of fun with. I'm posting little things every once in a while. But yeah, see you there. Have a great day. See you in our next video. Take care.